Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. I hope that today you have found a little bit of time for yourself, or whether you're listening to this potty that you're on a walk, or that you're relaxed on the couch, or that, you've just done a face mask and that you've just found a little bit of time for yourself, because I really like these chats to be a little moment of self-care and knowledge and education for you to just take that time out just for yourself. Okay, in today's episode, we are going to be talking all about meal plans and flexible dieting, because as the healthy eating, the weight loss, the exercise space, it is damn overwhelming and confusing. And this is one of the main reasons for wanting to start and to share this podcast with you and to start having these conversations with you, because it is overwhelming. It is exhausting. It is confusing. It is tiresome. And we hear all of these words and all of these things thrown around all the time. And then we hear, oh, well, don't do that because that's bad, or you shouldn't be doing that because this is better. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you all about meal plans, flexible dieting, intuitive eating, all these words that we hear thrown around, and just give you my personal experience, my personal knowledge, in the hope that it is going to help you up for success as well too, whether you're just starting out, whether you're just working on healthy habits, whether you're trying to get back into exercise. Hopefully these tips and ideas today can help you understand the whole thing a little bit better. And like I said, it is just so confusing, and it's really hard to know what to listen to, what to not listen to, what to follow, what not to follow. And I do know, especially because I've seen a lot of it around on social media too, that there's sort of this argument. It's like that meal plans are not good. Like, you better to do flexible dieting or intuitive eating, that meal plans are bad. And so I kind of really want to delve into that today and clear up a few things, because I definitely don't think that meal plans are bad. But it's like the argument at the moment that Pilates is better than weight training, or that weight training is better than Pilates. It's the same thing when it comes to meal plans. Some people are like, oh, you shouldn't follow a meal plan. You should do flexible dieting. And it's hard to know which to do or not what to do. So I just want to talk to you about my experience and what I have found, using both and the different methods of dieting and weight loss. Okay, so let's talk about what's a meal plan? What is it? What is a meal plan? What are the benefits of it? Why should we start here? Now, women, and this was me included, women often see other women talking about the fact that they're flexible meal planning and intuitive eating and all of those kind of things, and they want to jump to this point too quickly. Okay, I see it all the time. Okay, women will be like, oh, but I'll just flexible diet and I'll just intuitively eat and I'll just kind of feel it. And I'll go with the flow and just plan my meals that way. It is very hard to go straight to that. Okay, you need to have a structure and a foundation first. And that is why a meal plan is really beneficial. Now, when I first started on my weight loss journey, I started with a meal plan. I got one of these ones online, downloaded a few freebies. I followed a meal plan. Now, at the time, I wasn't aware of what I was doing, but in hindsight now and looking back, and because I understand this all so much more, I realized the massive benefit of using a meal plan and not trying to jump to intuitive eating or flexible dieting. You will hear influencers in particular and people that have big fitness and healthy eating and weight loss accounts talk about the fact that they just, I just intuitively eat. Like I just know what to eat and I just know what my body needs and I just fuel my body the best I can. That's great. But I'm telling you, they got there from following a meal plan, from tracking their calories and from learning about food. You have to have that knowledge base first. You cannot get to just knowing what to eat, knowing how to fuel your body, knowing how food makes you feel. You can't just get to that point without the other stuff first. And that's where following and using a meal plan can be really beneficial. Now, when you follow a meal plan, so a meal plan means that your meals and your snacks and your dessert are set. Okay, so it'll be for breakfast, or you know, eat this, for lunch, you have this, for dinner, you have this, for dessert, you have this. Now, obviously, straight off the bat, what that does is it cuts down your thinking time, cuts down your planning time, makes it easier for you because you're not having to think about what to put together, cook, and create for every single meal. So there's a benefit straight away. You're going to save time, less time planning, less time thinking. And the unfortunate thing is our brains do use up a lot of time and energy with food and thinking about food noise and what to eat and what not to eat. So having a meal plan that tells you exactly what to eat does cut down that cooking time, that planning time, and that thinking time. Now, here's the other key thing that you may not be aware of. When you follow a meal plan, okay, there's all this stuff that's actually happening and that you're actually getting better at without you even realizing it, okay? So what I mean by that is you go to your meal plan and it says, okay, I want you to make this for breakfast. It's got to have this much oats, this much flour. It's got this. Literally just by you following that meal plan, by putting together that recipe, by weighing out the different ingredients, you are learning about portion sizes. You are learning about protein amounts in your meals. You are learning about the calories, the fats, the protein, the carbohydrates in that meal or in that snack that you are eating. So even without you realizing, just by following a meal plan, you are actually learning a lot, like more than you think. So in your mind, you're just going, okay, well, I'm just following what I've been given and I'm just going to eat that. That's fine. You're learning a lot, okay? Because what is going to happen is you've made that breakfast. And so that the next time, if you're out at a cafe or if you're going to make a different breakfast and you're doing it yourself, you've then got a little bit of knowledge. You've then got a little bit of knowledge about, well, hang on, I've gone to the cafe. Wow, they gave me like 6 bits of bacon. That's heaps. Like I remember from my meal plan that like I only had one slice of bacon and that was around that amount of calories. Like it's almost like by osmosis. So sort of like without you even thinking of it, you're absorbing and taking on and building up your food bank, your knowledge around food, and you are learning a lot. Like I said, literally just from following and making those meals that are on your meal plan. Now, here's the important thing with meal plans. Meal plans will give you the structure that you need to start with. When you are starting out, you need structure. Like I said, we all get caught up in this thing and we miss the structure part because we want to jump straight to the, oh, I'm just going to flexible diet and I'm going to intuitively eat. This is my personal experience and what I found like from all the women that I've worked with, you need the structure first because you don't have that knowledge base yet. Okay, you don't have the knowledge base about portion sizes and calories and food and protein and macronutrients. You don't have that knowledge base. So that meal plan is there to give you all of the structure, all of the support, and to hold your hand for as long as you need. Okay, and this is the thing. This is where we sort of get things a bit confused. You don't always need that structure of the meal plan. Okay, you don't always need that. It is the best place to start, but you don't need that forever. Okay, and this is where flexible dieting comes in. So flexible dieting is basically just creating your own meal plan. So like your breakfast, lunch, your dinner, your daily eating, your week of eating, your meal plan, but including the foods that you love. Okay, that's all flexible dieting is. Okay, it's creating your own meal plan for yourself and including the things that you love. So it's dessert, chocolate, maybe a packet of chips, some pasta, whatever your things are. That is flexible dieting. But here's the thing. If you find the right meal plan and if you're using the right meal plan in the first place, it should include those things anyway. Okay, a good meal plan should include all of your favorite meals. It should include like fakeaways and burgers and pizza nights and pasta nights and all the things that we all love to eat. If you have got the right meal plan, it should have those things in it anyway. Okay, so they should just be included. If your meal plan is chicken and broccoli for lunch and like a grapefruit for dinner, like that is the wrong meal plan. And I wish I'd taken a screenshot of this, and I might see if I can go back and find it and maybe share it to my social media. But I was scrolling through Facebook and just random stuff pops up. And it's like a page, weight loss page and stuff like this. And someone had shared their perfect, like it was a 5-day sort of eating meal plan. Oh my goodness. But the thing that struck me was on this meal plan, obviously the food that was on it. It was like breakfast was half a piece of toast and 1 boiled egg. Lunch was like a piece of chicken and a handful of broccoli. Like it was really restrictive, really bland, really boring. But the thing that struck me the most with this particular post that I saw was the comments. There was like hundreds and hundreds of comments from women saying, oh, this is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this. Like, wow, this is really great. I'm going to try this next week. I just had to sit back for a second and go, wow, and that's how overwhelmed and confused we are as women, that when we see something like that, we'll be like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, she's doing that. I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to try that straight away. I'm telling you, that meal plan is going to last you about half a day and you're going to be starving hungry and probably fall asleep from lack of energy and not enough nutrients and calories. So I was just really shocked and surprised that stuff is still out there about meal plans. So like I said, always be aware when you're scrolling on social media what you choose to stop and click on and save. And also too, I've talked about this before, but if you're in the comment section and a woman is making a comment about a food, a recipe, a meal plan, something like that is her belief about food. Okay, if she's in that comment section saying, oh, this is too much to eat or you shouldn't eat that, that's her food belief. Okay, so just because some random woman on the internet has commented on some meal plan that you've seen, just ignore it. Just go, that's her stuff. That's what she thinks about food, and you create your own food belief and your own food mindset. So don't always get wrapped up in what other people are commenting on writing and social media.
If you're like me and you have a busy life and you want to start your day successfully, which for me is a high protein breakfast, I love using the Real Nourish products. Their pancake bake or their crumble are my favorite. Like, no brainer. There's nothing that comes close to these products. You literally make them in minutes, and when they're cooked, they make 3 generous serves. So you eat it feeling like a queen, like you are full, your belly is satiated, and you are ready to start the day. And the last thing you're going to be doing is thinking about food for a few hours. That is for sure.
Okay, so in my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, and in my personal experience, and from all of the women that I've worked with, well, it is best to start with a meal plan. It is best to start with a meal plan because you get that structure. So you start with the structure first, okay? And you can use a meal plan for as long as you need to, okay? And then when you're ready, you can start to move to a more flexible approach if and when you feel ready to. Now, this depends on you. This depends on the woman that you are. This depends on, it's just every person is different. For me, I followed a meal plan for like a year, longer than that, because I just found it gave me the structure. It saved me time. It was easy. It was easy to follow as a busy mom. I just found that it was an easy, simple thing for me to do. And then like I said, if and when you feel ready, when I felt ready, not because I thought, I've been doing a meal plan for too long, I should do something different. No, when I felt ready, then I started to have a play around with stuff. And this is what I teach the girls in the Hype Gal membership. It's why the membership is set up in a way that you get your monthly meal plan, but I can also show you how to move into a more flexible approach, because you get a mix of done for you and done. Because at the end of the day, the goal is that when you leave the membership, that you know how to do this on your own. You know how to eat on your own. You know how to maintain your weight loss on your own. This isn't just I'm going to get you a quick fix and then put you out the door and that's it. You're on your own now. I equip you with all of the skills that you need so that you are set up for life, so that you never, ever have to diet again. Okay, never again. You can leave and you don't ever have to diet again. But like I said, you start with the structure of the meal plan and then you get flexible. Okay? And I think as well too, we get this bit muddled up because we think, I'll just ditch the meal plan and start flexible planning and doing all my meal plan myself. No, it doesn't work like that. And it didn't work like that for me. I went from following a meal plan to then going, I'm kind of getting a bit of a hang around this now. I was like, okay, all right. I think I'll swap out, going to keep following my meal plan. I think I'll swap out that breakfast and I'll try a different breakfast and just check that it still fits in with my calories and everything, and like that it's still going to get me towards my goal. Like that was the only thing I changed. We sort of have this thing of I'll stop the meal plan and I'll just do it all on my own, and I'll just do flexible dieting and intuitively eat and just see how I feel. It is very hard. Like I've said before, it is very hard to move from one to the other without that knowledge. The meal plan builds your knowledge. Okay. And you will know when you feel comfortable, when you feel confident. And like I said, everyone is different. When you can start to go, hey, I feel I'm okay. I've got a little bit of understanding about this now. I feel like I can mix and match a few things. And like I said, it might just be one meal, or you swap out a dessert for something different. Okay. And you do that. And next time you might swap a little bit more. And it's a slow, again, it's learning. It's a slow process. You don't have to go from following a set meal plan to then doing everything on your own. There's steps in between that move you from that person, to fully relying on a meal plan to being able to do it flexibly or to intuitively eat. And I also just want to add to that too, it's okay to, if you always want to follow a meal plan, there is nothing wrong with that as well too, because like I said, a meal plan makes things easy. It saves you time. You're not thinking about what to eat. You're not thinking about meal planning. Like it is all done for you. It takes away the food noise. It takes away all of that thinking about what to eat and how many calories are in something, and, am I getting enough protein, or am I eating enough fat? All of these kind of things. A meal plan does all of the hard work for you. All you need to do is just follow it. So if that works for you, and if that works for you long term, just keep using it. Like I said, we get so in our own heads as women that there's this certain and set way to do this thing, this weight loss thing, this healthy eating thing, that it has to look a certain way and it has to be a certain way. Listen to yourself, okay? And I've also seen the other side. You can't rush it. So if you're not ready to move from a meal plan to something that's more flexible, don't do it. Okay, don't do it until you feel ready, because what will happen is things will start to fall apart. Okay, there is nothing wrong with using a meal plan. Like I said, in the membership, you get a brand new 5-day meal plan every single month with new recipes, new desserts, all those kind of things. Like I said, there's a reason that it's set up that way. It's set up that way because it's done for you. And then you get to move to done with you. So I see it all the time in the membership. Women will start going, I'm just going to have a play around with the meal plan, or I'm going to swap this out for that. Or I've got last month's meal plan and I've got this month's meal plan, and I'm going to try and put them together and just so kind of make my own. Again, that's totally okay. It's all about playing around with it. But like I said, there's no hard and fast rule, and there's no set way of doing it or a perfect way of doing it. It's for you that you feel comfortable with, not rushing it, and just doing it if and when you feel ready. And like I said, from my personal experience, I just believe it is very hard to take a woman who has zero knowledge and experience around food, diet, nutrition, what they're eating, and say, here's 7 days, go and plan yourself a week of meals for flexible dieting and include some of the foods that you love. Like if someone had said that to me, I would have just gone, no way. What are you talking about? And remember, I'm a big believer, and I'll always say to you that it's okay to be a beginner. We fight this so much as women. It's like, well, I have to know everything, and I have to know how to do this thing, and I have to know how many calories, and I have to know what exercise I should be doing, and I have to know how to meal plan. No, you don't, because you were never taught and you were never shown. And I wasn't either. It's okay to go, you know what, I don't know much about this stuff. Kind of thought I did, really don't know anything. It's okay to be a beginner and to learn as you go. And that's what a meal plan gives you. It gives you that structure, that support, makes things easier for you, saves you time, so that you can build your knowledge, so that you can get confident. And so then when you feel ready, you can start tweaking things and adjusting things slightly and moving to a more like a flexible approach. And like I said, if you ever meet anyone that just says, I intuitively eat, and intuitive eating is kind of just like, well, I don't track calories and I don't track my macros, and I just kind of intuitively eat. So I just eat in a way that feels good for me and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty much what I do now. Like I eat intuitively, but I can only do that because I have that knowledge base, and I have that knowledge base from learning, from following a meal plan, from educating myself about food. That's the only reason now that I know how to eat intuitively, and how to eat to feel good, and how to eat so I don't have insane sugar cravings, and how to eat so I don't feel tired or have massive energy crashes in the afternoon. So like it's all of that stuff. You need the structure first. So I just want this one to act as a reminder for you that you don't have to rush this stuff. A meal plan is a really great place to start and a great place to continue to. Like you can just learn so much literally from following a meal plan. Okay. And what actually happens over time is because you start to build that knowledge base around food, what happens over time? Because I get this all the time. People are like, oh, but I don't want to have to my food forever, or my calories, or I just don't want to do it and I can't be bothered. You don't have to. You don't do it forever. You do it for as long as you need to until you have built that knowledge base that you need. Okay, so when you follow a meal plan and you followed it for a while, what happens is you then go, okay, well, I'm going to make some chicken for dinner. And from following that meal plan, roughly what 150 grams of protein for your chicken in your dinner looks like. Okay, so you can just eyeball it. You can just take your eyes and look at it and go, yeah, that looks pretty roughly about what I've been eating for the last however long, how many months. That's it. Okay, that's what happens. Knowledge base allows you then to eyeball your serving sizes, your portion sizes, and it makes it so much easier. And just a reminder, you have to know the how before you can do the do. Okay, so you have to know how to do this stuff before you can actually do it. So you know, when you do see these posts about, oh, don't follow a meal plan or just flexible diet, or like I said, if you've got a good meal plan and there's lots of variety, lots of tasty meals, lots of easy meals, lots of family-friendly meals, there's dessert. The Hype Gal meal plans have dessert every single night because to me, like what's the point of living if there's not dessert in your life every night? So that's always included, all of your favorite meals. If you have a good meal plan, it's easy to follow. It's easy to stick to. It's easy to like save time cooking because all of your favorite things should be in there and you don't need the flexible dieting because like I said, flexible dieting is just dieting but including your favorite foods. And like I said, it's very hard to move from having like all of that structure to having no structure at all. So like I said, when you see these posts and things or stuff on social media, just make your own decisions. You can read things, but you know, make your own decisions as to what the best way is for you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope it's kind of given you a little bit of perspective on meal plans and flexible dieting and intuitive eating and things like that, especially too when you hear those sort of words and things thrown around. Like I said, it's very overwhelming and confusing to sort of know what they mean or what people are talking about. So I hope you found today's episode super useful. If you love today's episode and if you love listening to the Healthy Her podcast, don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button. It means that you don't miss an episode. And also too, if you have a spare second, I know, right? We're busy women. If you do have a spare second and you love the potty, I'd be super grateful if you could leave us a review below. Thank you so much for listening and I'll see you in our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @theactivebod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.